what should I use?
I'm very happy to be here to meet the group, and also there are a number of new faces here, and thank you very much for coming here for this talk. I'm also happy because on the first of all, like, this group also represents the a group who follows the the path of the Lord Buddha. And also it's not simply because you follow the Buddhism, but it's also the Buddhism as a religion it is the fundamental or the main principle of the Lord Buddha's teaching is really based on the altruism and non-harmfulness, the principle of non-harmfulness, and that is that kind of doctrines of non-harmfulness, and it is very very precious, and that's something that we follow most. So this this teaching on the principle of non-harmfulness, so it's really very beneficial on all level, on the individual level. When you talk of your own finding a peace and happiness in your own life, that is a very important cause, fundamental cause. And of course, if you talk the peace and happiness on a wider level, like in a global level, and that is something very important. And as you can see, this has it is something which is really essentials for whether there's just two people, for the harmonious relation of two people, or in a wider harmony in the wider communities, and so in all levels. So this the practicing this principle is very like almost essential.
That's something. Can get that something. I don't come some cover. Just some tono and then such more wrongy jig. Sam may be Lord Hart, such a remember, so I have.
So of course what we need to do is to try to relate this teaching to one's own mind, so we have to understand that relate this within ourselves, and we all have when we look, has the capability to produce, and we already have some sort of thought of preventing or causing harm to other beings. So we have to see that thought, relate that thought or to recognize that thought as something very important and beneficial. So in terms of the terminologies, what we normally we people call that the non-thought of non-harmfulness, So we call it love or compassions. So this is the really the if we think about it, this is the very source or the root cause of all the peace and happiness. And so in terms of developing that, of course, first we need to understand and recognize that what is that the thought of like non-harmful is, and then in order to develop that, then we have to think of not only just in terms of just simply trying to refrain from any acts which will cause harm to other, but also think of how we can extend like a benefit and help other beings as well. So, of course, when you think of helping or benefiting others, so we have to give a bit of thought on what way, how we can benefit other. What way will bring joy and happiness to other beings. So we need to think about that. So, in order to benefit or extend benefit to other beings, so then first of all, we need to have some sort of the sense, like feelings towards others, their situations. So that feelings, if their situation is such that where they are lacking happiness, there's not enough joy, and then in that situation, if you cultivate this feeling of that, you sincerely feeling them to wish them to have happiness and wish them to have a joy, and if that feeling is what we call as defined as the love, which is to genuine thought, genuine wish to for other being to have happiness. So when you have, so in order to benefit to others, so you need to have that feelings, and likewise, when you observe other beings who are inflicted with sufferings and a lot of misery and a lot of pain, and then again, if there's a feeling that that you wish them to be free of that suffering or miserable situations, and in a sense that we even use a sense like a term, you feel intolerable, unbearable to see them in that as this situation of in sufferings. So if you're that intolerant to their sufferings, or intolerant to that is what we call as the compassions, which is you wish, as when you observe this other being inflicted with suffering, so the compassion is this feeling that you you wish them to free from that sufferings, and so you got to have this sense of love and compassion, which are both sense of intolerables for the lack of happiness or the sufferings of other sentient beings.
That's only a word for that. That's only so you somebody Hachang loves what you must so one day. That's on dead. So somebody needed debut, nothing so Pembato, so never came to do it. That's on top. Yes, Rola Tsering, Rola Shamba came to Kuza, the Hachang so Gingo Chamber, so pencil, never said so Gingetiga, such a level you are and that's it. Logic, don't come to us.
So it's just, in fact, it's not that hard to actually to understand this attitude of love and compassion, because if we can recognize simply just observing our own experience of that. How when we have a feeling of that love or compassion, or in another word, if there's someone else, some other person who share the love and compassion to you, and that means that person's really cares about you and really wish you to have to be happy, and so therefore there is no way if someone who have a true love for you, and there's no way they have and in their mind or in their intention there's no thought of harming you, and so rather with this feeling of love, so they would they show some care and concern for you, and even will take some sort of responsibility to see how, in what way they can benefit you.
Right, that is that is on the road Gangachi, China, so the robot don't get silent that those, that Roland in the Choma and Kiroba Chengua. That catching was laying the Sandup. It's a guinea, so young hour Chile, Gangana, Chevojin, Chevron, that's so the robot don't get mother Tsering, and Santona didn't know the Sozol, Savado, Shombayapu, and Kiroba Chevre. Mado, Noji Gando, Nachi, Chet, and I know Chase, young Iron, Chegumare, take on it out, he's some Senator, that's some death and road the
you could also appreciate or acknowledge this the value of this love and compassion, in terms of if we think of our own life situations where imagine that if you situations where you face a great difficulties or great problems. In that situation, so you should think of who is going to come and to help you out of that. Even though generally in your life you may have so many other people who may be seemingly you are close to you and friendly, but most likely a lot of them even would not come to you to help. Okay, so therefore those people who actually come and show concern to you and care about you are only those who possess this true love and kindness, the compassion for towards yourself.
That's all the things. I think you got it in a person, so so nyong ngai te sa la pemba shenga ma de la ma zo yi chi yung gre ngene pensa zine yi chi go da pensa shoma yi je ya po ko so no pen chi chi ni yi chi yung je je yi chi ya den ne ala da de ba da tempo yung rồi cả đó lo để vào là chỉ dùng cái thiên số mẹ bảo là ý chí thì cái thiên số chế độ đấy ý chí mẹ nó thiên số sản phẩm nơi đó xong thế thì cái全部人民他xong thế多đấy
So we also know from our own experience that how, when when someone helped you out in the most difficult situations, and then you start to really feel more, develop more trust in that friendship, your relationship with that friend. So in the same way, as we it's for most of us, it's very important, the relation, building a very close, intimate, and a very trustful, faithful relationship with others is very very important for us. And so therefore it's also, we understand there's if it is time, when your friend or someone is in great need, and if you're able to go and help, so in that time, so and then there's you naturally can win the trust and the faith of the friend, because and that kind of strengthens the your relationship. And also otherwise, when there is no this trust element of really good trust and the faith in that, then there's it kind of there's always a bit of like a doubt in your the relationship with others.
네, 일단 예치바는 제세. 나 소소 제세 통나 제세 아버는 통이 이치나 이치 때문에 와. 일단 제세 또 제세 첨부지 도와야 봐. 소소 영아이 제세 편소 정가들 예치바데 예치 주바서 제세 아버 이건 좋겠네. 얘나 개체무서는 뭐다 상태 도는데
So talking about the building trust in the relationship. So the trust become very stable, so very strong when you see a good reason for why you should trust that person. So therefore there is, we just talking before how with a genuine sense of like a feeling of love, and then if you help always other people, other friends in a time of need, and how, so this is a very the cause, very important cause for to build such trust.
다 시사는 차빈 대바도 마찬가지 뒤에 있는 편지지. 대리 인명이 놀라고 거야 말이 만들어서 제 보면 도만 지그래라 만들어서 차빈 문제야. 대부분 너들이 내용이 좋아. 너는 컨트롤하는 바 같은 놈이야. 차도니 사든 일이야. 이나요. 뭐 뭐들을 차빈 것도야. 대면에 저도想把这个 편선내려는 거야. 편서 이지요. 내가 땜보인 거야. 대면에 저러서 그 제스를 아마 대과래서.
So we are also talking here about the how to the build a very the stable relationships. So how normally most people this they especially with the men to women or women with it, then it's initially more based. Relationship begins more on the basis of the desires, and sometimes it could be even lust, and and so therefore brings that good together. And then the whereas the in our normal case that which the separate or split the relationship, so that is the when there's the hatred arise, comes in, and then the relation get damaged. So so therefore the here in order to, however, if we, even though it's a relationship there's an element of some desire and attachment to each other, but at the same time, if we're trying to add the element of a genuine love and compassion, and then this can have like we were just saying before, then slowly we can replace the more the element of attachment with the love and the genuine love and care for each other, and so in this way you bring more trust, and more both can feel more ease and relax in the relationship.
너도 잡힌 잡아도 잔는데 저면 이제 돈이거든. 뭐가 거기 뒤에 돈이고 내가 놀라운 거야. 뭐 정말 편도 뭐 줘야 돼.
So in the any form of like the relationship which is based on the love and compassion, so that is very long lasting, even if there are some cases where even some couple, they after this separation and still they maintain some sort of very close and caring relationships. So and that is really the effect of the genuine love and the compassion in their relationship. And now if we ask how to meditate on and then cultivate the and develop love and compassion, then when we think on this, then one of the main the obstacle that we face, when we face that is the lack of the disciplines, lack of discipline of our mind, like even if we want, when we're trying to meditate on that, on for example love and compassion, but somehow that our mind, if it is not subdued enough, then it will lack the focus on that, and so therefore it's important that the first one should achieve some sort of state of the peace and stabilities within one's mind.
먼저 마세시아 마세세다 로 시시 더하시요나 마세시 못 된대 현지 설로제 특제 벌써 같으니지 맨날 뭐 생이 시시 더하시요나 마세시 뭐요 너 생이 되네 생이 되네 로 시시 더하면 맨날 매지 시에 되는 특제 벌써 같으나 생이 되 야인도 깔리 하시고 그래서 손집처럼 된 거거든요.
So therefore, the in order to develop some more the qualities within our mind, like develop like insight and develop love, compassion within our mind. So what we need to first to achieve is some sort of state of the peace and the stability within our mind, and this is not only this kind of the mental peace and the stability is important not only for the to make progress in the meditation practice, but even in our everyday life. We will notice that it is very essential for our everyday life to have that within our mind. We enjoy some sort of stable mental peace and stabilities, because without that, when we lack that, and sometimes we will find that we will be very we find ourselves then very disturbed, very unhappy, and stressed. Even though the externally or outwardly, we our living conditions are very comfortable and very very positive, very wholesome, but because of the lack of that, the mental this peace or mental stability within our mind, so we cannot appreciate the good condition of the life.
이제 다다시야 너지래 그러네 쇼바 이제 너래 아버지야나 세시사 냐기래 이나 영화들이 세든 출거를 쇼바 이제 하라 너래세 고자가 걸로 되잖아 뭐도 손은 뭐도 맞으면 거 용해서 말해 얘다 다 만들지 담아봐 사세를 넣어도 받진 출거 자 먼저 변은 로자 하저된 차도 잡고선 셰도 잡고선 아다 저거 잡을 로지 이제 그래는 저러想法거 이제 고선 용거 맞대 눈이 용거 맞 챘니 그러더니 내가 되는 용거 알아야 돼.
So it's very easy to say that if we have and also it is very true that if we have cultivate our love and compassion within our mind, then we will be happy, and also we can bring the same to all the other around us. But the question is how when we come to actually to cultivate that, then it's not that simple, and like we're saying how when we're trying to it required a bit of knowledge, bit of understanding about the means to cultivate this love and compassion. And then not only that, there is we also face a lot of other challenges in our mind, such as various disturbing thoughts and various emotions, which especially when they are very the overwhelming in our mind, such as like anger or jealousies, or strong desire, attachment. And when our mind is like filled with this kind of such a strong wave of such destructive thought or the emotions, And then if you say, even if you try to, or if someone say to you now, no, you should, practice love and compassion, then, so there's no way that we can do it, or even it wouldn't make any sense to us. So therefore, that's why it's important to in order to develop or bring more positive, quality within our mind. So we need to overcome this. So we need to overcome all this, the negative state of mind, or we need to calm the mind, subdue the mind down, and through this way, then we might be able to cultivate love. So we need to. So therefore, we need to give a thought on the fact that how, when there is in our mind, when there's an influence on our mind of such destructive emotions, such as like the anger or jealousies or strong desire, attachment. So when there's such influence in our mind, and then they let alone engage in the practice, but even we will notice that there is even no peace, and there's no we cannot even find peace and happiness for ourselves. So it's important to first of all to recognize that the negative or the destructive, the influence all these like thought, like disturbing thoughts, or the emotion like anger, the jealousies or the desire have on us. When they, at the moment they arise, we lose peace and happiness, and also the as long as these influences are there, these negative destructive thoughts or the emotions remains within our mind, then it is very impossible for us to feel enjoy, find happiness. So therefore it's important to recognize and to say to yourself that you must free oneself from this the influence or the overpowering influence of these negative states of mind. So, as you need to observe that how when the such the destructive or negative state of mind arise, how they can be harmful. They takes away all your peace and happiness, and so therefore you motivate you to overcome, to get rid of this, and also to to think of that, understand that if you have to take that the measurement, to overcome that, as soon as possible, because otherwise, if you let these negative thought and emotion, stays there for longer, then that means they become these negative thoughts become more like a habituate into your mind, and which means then it becomes harder for one to later on to getting rid of them. So now then, the thinking of how to get rid of these negative thoughts and emotions. Then we have to focus on the contemplate on the causes of this negative state of mind arise, and what are the causes, what are the factors which the cause which brings these negative states of mind. So we can notice that the one obvious cause is their objects, whether it's the jealousies or anger or the desire. So each has its own kind of objects. So so that is the one cause, and so therefore something that we need to do something to how to distance or how to the separate our mind from that objects.
That is some that 그저 사이에 손도 로이 차게 그저 레거를 그저 뭐사이 로이 내려져 그저 용어면 돼. 진짜 로또 신이 야부 셔라야 돼. 얘네 대 거스 진짜 봐 로쇼 손도 녀모 콜로 로쇼. 야. 그저 뭐더니 내려서 그저 녀면 늘는데 손에 다 되게 제일 더데 그저 뭐사이 예지 저 로이 야부 샤터데 손도 그저 용어 맞다 돼 이제 Warrnambool 되게 다 성대도요.
So we have to think of how to avoid, one way to get rid of those negative state of mind is to how to avoiding the object of these various negative state of mind. So because there are, just as there are certain objects which cause like the anger, which anger to arise within us. So there are other objects which doesn't arise the anger. So in fact, it might have an opposite, the impact on one's mental attitudes. So like there when we think of certain object, you get anger or a desires. So whereas if you think of some the opposing objects to those each the object, then we can think it will produce the counter state of mind to whether to anger or the desire. So this is what we have to do when we engage in meditation practice. So we one of the practice is to really to divert our mind from the object of the anger, then to something object to which which brings the love and compassion for instance.
That's on the that's on the children riba the garden 먼저 예질로이 좀 살은 못 되셔야지 용건도 코파 제진은 연 못야 뒤르바니 코파 제시마 콜손은 왔다데 예지선 도를 연 들다 리바트는 예 들처럼 야못 빼야네 네야다 근데 고자 저런 내가 야부지라고 그래 맞지 리바 야부시고 저런라고 그래 네네 싫어 쳐봐지 더 싫어 쳐봐지래 콜로이들 내가 연락 못 하셔도 콩만도 요네 요도 거니 근데 얘네 생각없이 받치고 제는 거 그래 기도 와요 제스는 발사자 그래 다 듣는데 그래서 저는 다 리바디아나 콜로이드 잘 못 알려면 이제 더 봐제지니 then 근데 신로가 근데 봐 권징하는 제나 야고야 고 권지 듣지 라요 뭐래 근데 나는 편도 좀 라요 권지 좀 뭐지 라요 뭐 얘네 다 상대
So of course it takes that time for one to actually to understand how the mind operates, and like we're saying how the to some extent it is the object, depending on the object that which our mind engage in, which kind of determines the type of the mind which we produce. So there are, just as there are certain objects we know from our experience of the moment when we bring that in our mind, sometimes it brings some like a very unhappy memory, and then we may feel very depressed and very unhappy. And however, we switch to a different objects, different event, different things, then it will have a rather opposite effect of bringing something joy and happiness. So this is now the question of whether how we to feel really this to have some convictions in that is how this actually it works. So that takes a meditation, where we have to practice meditation. We engage in meditation practice, and through this, when we train our mind and trying to switching from one object to another object, instead of object, switching the mind off to something which brings a disturbance to something which on to something which is something peaceful, and then through this, as we meditate, then it's possible to gain some sort of insight into some kind of knowledge where we feel very very positive, as we feel some sort of control of our own situation, our own state of mind, and that kind of knowledge, in fact, is is a very unique and you can consider very very special.
그래서 상담을 나도 고자 센디체디 세티 코데를 요 세니모 온죠 일신된 소소 온다이든 레임도 센디체데스 네 센데나 대하야데 수제까지 제수에 디 코데를 완료도
so from this we can also understand that when we engage in meditation practice, we are engaging in something to subduing our mind, or to disciplining our transforming our our mind, and so and we saw that we can free ourselves from this our mind being overpowered by these various disturbing thoughts or the emotions. So so therefore, when we can like the Lord Buddha said that the meditation is a means of subduing our mind. So we can just in our discussion we want to discuss about the various what we do in the meditation practice, so we can understand that how essentially, so it's about gaining control over mind, or fully subduing one's mind. So we, from our own experience, tells us that how if our mind is not under the influence or under the power of this such a disturbing thoughts or the emotions, then naturally we will find peace and happiness. So to begin the meditation practice, so we initially, so we have to get rid of all the thoughts which is very agitating and disturbing to our mind, and because such as if we have still a strong residue of anger or hatred or jealousies, if there's such strong influence, then it's unless we do something it means to just to immediately or temporarily suppressing them. So we have to do that. We have to apply that to overcoming that, because without overcoming these things, then this immediate influence of the disturbing thoughts, then we cannot do the meditate on love, compassion, or any meditation. So therefore, it is said that one of the very effective means to immediately and temporarily overcoming all the disturbing thought is the breathing meditations. Which the meditation where it doesn't require a lot of knowledge or the understanding. There's not much to study and think, and so it simply involves one to focus one's mental attention to or the awareness of the inhaling and exhaling, and then as you place the mind on the breath, and then it kind of automatically then removes all these the immediate disturbing thoughts.
그 거는 되는 되니까 영웅의 약간가 마치 선을 로다도 레를 쉬고질래 다 뒤인 겁니다. 그 소소 그 가르자는 성도도 지지니야. 네. 이제 걸어 거 잔서가로 거 잔게다. 이 나인 거라.
So you could start the meditation, your practice with the breathing meditation, so which I said before, which you will find it very effective in overcoming all these the immediate disturbance, disturbing thoughts and emotions, and just to immediately relaxing, resting one's mind within oneself, and in this way, once your mind rests within yourself, and then we say that the mind becomes you find the mind, when once all these immediate disturbing thoughts are thoughts leaves one's mind, so there is some sort of stillness arising within your mind, and through this, so you will find your mind very what we call as a very serviceable, very like a workables, and then after that, then you can with that state of mind, then you can move to the whatever meditation, main meditation you are engaging in. But of course, in some cases where the people can go straight into their main meditations. So we will do just a bit of breathing meditations, and so many of you have already know how to do the breathing meditation properly, and so we important to relax, start with a relaxed body, and then trying to remove all the like a distracting thought, and as the mind settles in, as the mind settled inside, and then we also to aware of in terms of the breathings. So it is said that breathing should not be too loud, that makes it loud that you could actually hear the sound of your breathing yourself, and likewise it also should not be it should be rather breathing in and out should be like an event, in a sense that it should not be like your breathing out is long, and whereas your breathing in is short, and it should not, rather should be even, and then also the breathings should be effortless, should be the natural in a sense of how you normally breathe, just it as natural and effortless as possible. That the flow of the breath should go lost. So that's the objects is the breathing, and then the next thing is to consider the what kind of, when we engage in meditation practice, what kind of the obstacles that we face, and we should overcome, and then but what are the other the aids, what are the aids or the favorable conditions which we should apply in the practice. So the obstacles are mainly the what we call termed as the mental, like the excitement or thinkings, and then whereas the aids or the suitable condition factors. So these are in order to overcome these two obstacles. So are the mindfulness and introspections.
No, ngamba kese then cheji sen dripping ibole mi so ngaman dikes loy changson dripping ibole mi tela dripping ibojere no ba tela ta maje pa tene hala tene gala chi no ba mi ba de ben cheji mai ba se mai ba cheji ba ne ba se.
And then the meaning of the mindfulness, when in these contracts. So it's it's a very specifics with has a very specific characteristics, as the in the compendium, in the text called the Compendium of Knowledge. So where it says that the mindfulness, it's the object, in terms of the one characteristic is that its object, which should be something which is already familiar with you. It should not be something new to you. So when you you already have to be familiar with that objects, and then in terms of the mindfulness aspects or its mental attitude, then it is the what it has the function of not or retaining that object, or in literally not forgetting that objects, and then the third is and then with the mindfulness, then has the characteristic of not losing this object to any other distractions, or in another word, then there should be single pointedness in the one's or in one's the focus of all the retention of the objects. And then in relation with the two main obstacles that which we face in meditation, which are the one we call as the mental excitement, and that is something which are the primary cause of bringing distraction in the meditations, and here this excitement is as a state of mind, or as a mental factor. It is categorized as a form of like a desire or attachment and so so this is to say that when you say that usually you lose the objects because of some form of this excitement, in the sense that because of some sort of your attachment, or your mind being attached to some other objects, and then the mental sinkings, so which arise that in a situation where even though you may be your mind may be really focused on the objects, there is the attention is on the objects. However, the sign or the indication of this singing is that there is no the clarity in one's mind, and the intensity of that or vividness of that within one's mind as one is focusing on objects. So that is a sign of the mental sinking. And then, of course, when you meditate, so you also need to adopt proper meditation like postures, so which we want, like this which says, which has posture with 7 features, but we won't go in detail. So you might be finding in that the book that's published by the group. Is that in the book about
yes,
the meditation features?
There's many instructions in the book about posture, posture and meditation.
So
if people would like one of these books, please feel free.
Shila said has received a lot of positive feedback about this the book. So it's really, you've done a wonderful job with that publication. And there are some people who said that through that book, they have something that benefit, that's something which they can, it affect change the whole life. So it's really wonderful. Please don't misunderstand that by praising to that book. I'm not saying that I'm a great scholar. In fact, I'm not a scholar and I'm not a learned, but I believe that whatever or whenever I teach, I teach out of genuine intentions to really to benefit others, and whatsoever there is no self-interest in the time that I gave for people, in teaching meditation and so forth. So maybe that kind of my motivation, that I put in the teachings might have some sort of, positive benefit for the others.
서서 세대를 제제자도 뭐 쇼르로 받은 제제자도 뭐 지도냐고 논신내 봐제 안 내봐진 거 단다시아 서서 윤정한테 제제네 어때다 근데 통장인데 통 내는 돈 받고 와 근데 너 노이래 then the pan tone, pan rotom, that then is union for that's on my toy.
So we're going through the meditation, when you engage in meditation practice, so you adopt the right postures, we should not be too leaning forward or to the leaning backward, but relax and with the back straight, and then trying to, as we're saying, trying to be as much as possible to remove all the distracting thought, and so that your mind fully rest within yourself, and then by overcoming, it's important to overcome all the distracting thought, and then as I was just demonstrating to you, with if you have finger, and then like the object of meditations, which is here, is the breathing, is if this one finger and your mind is here, so when you go like that, so it kind of block, this finger can't go there. So the object, so it's like when you can think of this, your object, which is the breathing meditation object, as something where when you focus, direct your mind there, and then you can't go anywhere. You get blocked there. So that like that to completely your focus should be completely on the objects. We begin the breathing meditations. Time's up, isn't it? This is it.
About 6:30.
Yeah.
Oh.
Too short. And that's it. That's only
So tomorrow I'll continue with the loving kindness. On topic. So what we have brought up in this talk, so there's nothing there which you never heard of, or you don't know, right? But I personally believe that is better if we focus on something that that is directly inapplicable to our life and beneficial to our life, rather than there was a point of learning something that we cannot apply, cannot benefit our life. So that's what this topic is. And now we maybe before we finish, we can have a bit of question and answer, you can raise your hand if you have any question.
Sometimes we hear in the West increasingly people who are working, caring for other people, they talk about compassion fatigue, as if somehow they get exhausted caring for people and they need to somehow run away or take time off or somehow get some extra strength from somewhere else because it's too hard for them to go on. So what's happening there? What is the problem, and how might those people overcome that situation.
So that the Nupchoki, the same come request on the share, the Nangola something that Ninji Tang Chess, a seizure, that the Casa de Lago to the Degi, that is on the Milaching in the mission or watching in the Mango Yorwa. Takazo, Robache, Gajis in the Takanzo, Yida, Sun, Tango Chen, and the day Gangi Manguchi war, is that? Deal quickly, Digola again. Now. So your question is what the how to overcome that?
Well, even the very notion that we have that is
compassion.
A problem. From a Buddhist perspective, that seems very strange.
Yeah.
So why do people make that mistake that they develop a kind of compassion that does seem to get exhausted?
So your question is that there's a part of that is that you have to be compassionate, and you face that.
No, but people experience that when they're trying to be compassionate.
Yes.
They become exhausted and they collapse themselves because they don't seem to have enough energy coming back.
So the question is to how to...
how do you work with that?
How do
that happens a lot in the nursing profession and so forth. There are palliative care.
So the Degi Shenler robot which is a Yodo usually so Tangche Kangi Tigor. That the Kang is there now, the Tapshil Gangi, the Lamde Sochi.
Sure, Jen, Kanga told the Kanga so set on my some Chetona, Kora Seji, Kanga said, some Tinichi, so then get up what they care. Take it to what Kora Mantani Kanga Mandas or the Kalkon with
but the thing is as a worker, there's only certain things that you can solve the other person's, problems or fulfill their need, So therefore, it's important to, saying it's important to understand that how much you can help and how much you can't help, and sometimes when people don't realize that they have this strong thought that they can solve all their problems, like a high expectation of what they can achieve with the others, result with others, and can be cause of that. And they could do their best as a individually.
So the man self-chasing, liberal self-chasing, hard. No self-chasing, you see, help all see, that's enough. All see, I see. All I do, I know can, I see, I did good job, my job, all did beneficial. My job. Maybe someone knows that, self-chasing, and deep self-chasing. Hard. I know cancer. I know cancer. Self-chasing coming. I cancer. Self-chasing no. I know cancer. All one. Really, I know cancer. All card. So I told you you do. I know like it. Card. Not discuss it. You do. I like it. That all. No self-chasing. Really, I said. Your girlfriend or girlfriend or boyfriend. And I should do it. You do it. I can. You do it. I write. You do. I write. Completely. Self-chasing wrong. You do. I know like all self-chasing come here. Really, some don't chamber. You do, I know cancer. There's no discuss. No discuss. What's that then? I know cancer. Self-chasing, no can discuss. Just self. I know cancer. You do, I know cancer. No discuss. You do, I will help. Okay? Call now, self-chasing, call now, right? You do, I help you. So just something. 그거는 가져 오시더라. 로서도 제다 드니 요새 팀은 하고 맞더니 하래. 당아 도체세야 도체세가 되네 콜 샤데나 뭐마 샤들 도체야 뭐마 샤들 나보고 자 정말들에 맞아 어까지 드니 미시지
The cause can be also because even though people are supporting others as part of their job or whatever, but they have not completely given themselves up, right? And so there was also some sort of expectation, like you're saying, sometimes when the patient, if they don't appreciate you, then you lose your motivation to support. And so that's one indication that there is you are not fully given up or sacrifice yourself for serving others. So there's also some sort of reward. You're looking for some sort of reward and so forth. So that can be the another cause as well. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, even if you might get your motivation right, but there's also you are also just a person with you got your own limit to what physically you can do or not, and so therefore if you get too exhausted, then you have to understand that it's not your fault, and so other thing is important is that when you experience that, it is very important that you don't feel bad for all the good work that you've been doing before. You feel regret that you've been supporting that person for nothing, and it's we say it's very important to not to lose that. Rather we're supposed to be even if you stop working, but you're supposed to be take rejoice in all the good work that you've done before. So if someone who's like 100% dedicated, devoted to helping others, then maybe of course people might get physical exhaustion, but they mentally probably won't go through. That's a lot of problem that not go through. Yeah. They feel that they wish I could do some more, but I can't do it. But it's not like you begin to hate your job.
I make him good. I live time. I have a holiday. Then I do. Yeah, really the day. Yeah, body in the heart. That's what I body very hard. Mind can, body no can. And I really relax. I good job. I know body no can. So I mind live like that. I live relax. Then I can do. Yeah.
So of course you also need to self-care is also very important. So you might need to, in order to continue doing the good job. So it might be good to take some break. It's also good, which I often say to people, is that when we engage in doing something like a work to support other people, we also have to, at the same time, have to see that this is not just this is something that you wanted. It's something that has a really great meaning for yourself, your own life, and something you got to see. There is what you do is the something joy, and brings a happiness for yourself, and that's also important to recognize that.
Yell pen, Rudishan, there's some focus in the Yachin, Shala, Sierra, Lamazuma, Yeden, Rudishan, you tell some to nothing, and the name well.
Yeah, you heard there's a saying by the Shantideva and also the great Tsongkhapas that they, you know, if you you know, if you act, you know, benefit others, then your act of benefiting other will, you know, automatically benefit yourself. So when think on that. If you think on that, then we won't lose our spirit or, you know, courage, motivation to help others. It's something that we have to remind ourselves as a worker, you know, over and over again. Even His Holiness Dalai Lama also really frequently emphasized this, you know, the importance of contemplating on that, how benefiting, your act of benefiting other is also act of benefiting yourself. So you frequently mention that. So that you know has some deep, you know, meaning here.